serpent rays. Serpent rays is an entity that manifests through the host body system, using the host body system as a medium to hunt angels. It's very obvious once you see that. The serpent rays leaves a calling card, a manifestation that the serpent rays was there. And that's easily seen all around us. The flesh was designed to hunt angels. Designed to hunt angels that would go for the forbidden fruit. And the serpent race, which is feeding a race of locusts from the pit. They're walking around all around us. It's a race that works through the host body system. Because it's everywhere. And it's made manifest in front of us all the time.
All right, guys, God bless you and welcome to This Is It, 4321. Let's go. All right, guys. So obviously there's a lot of talk out there about this whole attempted assassination of Donald Trump. So I'm just going to show you some stuff that's going around the web. I mean, y'all may have already seen a lot of what I'm going to show you. But then I don't know if y'all saw the guy that was posing on Twitter saying that he was, he was portraying himself as being the attempted assassination guy. I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you the spiritual significance in it. Remember No More Angels Down on the Dance Floor by Justin Timberlake. Have y'all ever watched that video through maybe 2 or 3 times? Just let it sink in what you're watching. In Genesis 32, and Jacob descended, and when he came to I forgot the name of the place, he said, surely this is the angels of Elohim are here, and I will call this place a double camp, Manakaim, the place of a double camp of angels and dancers. Dancers coming up from the pit and pitching a tent, and angels coming down onto the dance floor. You get it? The video that Justin Timberlake did, No More Angels Down on the Dance Floor, that's literally a summarization of the Bible. At the end, no more angels left. Okay, let me show you something really fascinating. This is kind of floating around the internet, and I just want to show you the absolute foolishness. I mean, it's almost so stupid. I wanted to say 5th graders could poke so many holes in this. It would be ridiculous. Let me give you an example. Y'all know what a radio is, right? I mean, we all have our cell phones, but y'all know what a radio is? Let me show you a little thing that the cops used to talk about. It says you can't outrun a Motorola. See right there? You can't outrun a Motorola. Right here. During a car chase scene in the much maligned Blues Brothers movie, Elwood Blues drops a gold nugget of wisdom. You can't outrun a Motorola. Though numerous companies make two-way police radios, Elwood's point remains true. It is impossible to outrun a radio because radio waves travel at the speed of light. Okay, and so the point I'm trying to make is, I'm just going to show you something real quick, kind of like just to do a little pragmatic thinking, just a little logical thinking. Now, there's no one that I've told I'm going to use this radio right here. No one knows. Like I haven't said, hey, so-and-so or so-and-so, I'm going to drop in on you. So be ready. So now imagine you're at the Trump rally and there's a bunch of guys with these. They have them in their ear. They have their earpieces. All the cops have them. All the Secret Service guys. Everyone's got one of these. Okay, I'll bet you pretty quick I'm able to get a response. Hey, Zach, it's me. You got a radio? Hey, can you come back? I was getting feedback from another radio. Can you hear me? Okay, one more time.
Yo, radio.
Yeah, 10-4, thanks. All right, so did y'all see what I just did? I just picked up one of these and I checked in. With how fast did that happen? Well, let me ask you a question. So if I was at the Trump rally and I'm holding one of these, so there just happens to be another one over here. Just sometimes radios get low on charge. But anyway, if everybody had one of these, like, all Secret Service, all the cops, everybody, if there's a guy up on a roof that had ill intentions towards Donald Trump or the people in the crowd, could be a mass shooter. I mean, think about that. How did they know? Think about this. What if he was just like a mass shooter and he just wanted to mow down a bunch of Trump people? Well, as soon as I grabbed this and I said, yo, guys, I've been alerted. There's a guy on top of Unit 3. That's the building he was on, which I'm going to show you something you might find very hard to believe. He was on top of Building 3, Unit 3. And so if I said, okay, hey, guys, I've been alerted by one of the people in the crowd. There is looks like an active shooter on top of Unit 3. Everybody get President Trump or former President Trump. Get him down. Get him out of the way right now. Okay, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Okay, he'd already be off the stage by now. Just from that one cue. Just because of that one, hey guys, there's a shooter up on the building. I don't know what his intentions are, so we need to immediately respond. Well, everybody's got one of these. It's like a cell phone that everybody hears at once. Okay, right? Yes or no? Okay. So now that we have all these cell phone videos from all these people that were there, I'm going to show you some of them. There's people going, hey, we told the cops right there's a guy up there with a gun. Did you know 3 minutes went by? Not after they told him once or twice, or there were repetitive people telling police officers everyone had one of these. Well, if I'm a police officer and someone says, hey, there's a guy up there with a gun, I would have said, hey, Zach, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making a point on the video. But you can hear me, so if I told you to shut the door right now, you could?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so my point is, if everybody's got one of these, I was able to just call someone and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. They responded to me within a few seconds. So let's count down 3 minutes right now and see where that goes. So you're telling me after 3 minutes, some guy crawling around on a roof on Unit 3 the threat was not taken care of immediately? What about this? Hey, looks like we have a shooter. One of the crowd has alerted me. I can see the guy. He's on Building 3. Get the president down now. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Okay. President should already be down, off stage. Guys around him. There should be cops circling in on the building. Now, let's say you take elite law enforcement. I mean, let's take like super elite, like Secret Service and those guys. They should be better than I am with this and just calling one of my buddies, right? I'm just saying, right? I mean, now let's take a situation where one of the most pursued and hated by one particular group of political opponents person is being pursued by another political group, and they absolutely hate the guy. So if you're gonna have a get together, because I've had get togethers and we had security, and I'm telling you, my security was probably better than the one I saw at the Trump rally. With just what I'm saying is, when I say it was probably better, obviously I'm saying that if we can communicate right now with people and they can't, and when I say they, whoever was handling the security for Trump, there's no possible way that a shooter could have gotten in the perimeter, because they would have been there in advance to scope out the place. They would have seen, okay, where's the president? Where is Trump going to be? And then where are the possible vulnerabilities? If there's going to be an attempted, assassination, where would they do it from? You're telling me you're not going to look at all those things? Of course you are. But don't forget, you still have one of these. Everybody in law enforcement has one of these. You can't outrun a two-way radio. So now let's look at this. Now I've made my point. Now let's look at, this was on, and I thought it was fascinating. This is floating around. This is apparently a guy that he is ex-sniper, and I believe he's Canadian Special Forces. And maybe there's a channel called Popcorn something, I don't know. But I think if you really want to get in depth, you can go to that channel. But I'm going to show you this little clip of what a professional sniper says about the whole situation. And I'm just saying, I'm just doing cognitive, reasonable, logical thinking. If I saw a really dangerous big dog come into my yard and I had a little kid out front or something, and I saw it, I would say, hey, Zach, there's a dangerous dog out front right now and the neighbor's kid is out front. Can you grab him? It would be done like that. Why is this like this?
Yo, good morning. I keep getting asked about this, so I'm just gonna let you know my opinion. I am talking about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. And I know everyone's gonna have some crazy opinion. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion. It's gonna be very wild for the next little while, but just if you don't know me or are new to this page, I spent just about 17 years in the military, just about 14 of which were at Tier 1 Special Operations unit called JTF-2. Our sniper team has the world record for the longest confirmed sniper kill. And a huge part of our job while I was there and while I was a sniper was doing close protection for VIPs up to and including the Prime Minister when he would go to dangerous countries like Iraq or Afghanistan. We would be in charge of that security. So I'm very familiar with the layout of these types of things and what the jobs should be. And yesterday, what happened, I have no doubts in my mind that the shooter had help from somewhere within an agency, an organization, or the government. Happened. I have no doubts in my mind that the shooter had help from somewhere within an agency, an organization, or the government. The second I saw that aerial photo of what they were saying happened, it immediately made no sense to me. You cannot, in broad daylight, get onto a rooftop within, it looked like maybe a couple hundred yards, if that. You can't get into that position with a gun when there's a president speaking. It cannot be done. It's not like you don't even need to be a sniper to know that it's the most fucking obvious thing, an obvious place in the whole world. It's not like you don't even need to be a sniper to know that it's the most fucking obvious thing, an obvious place in the whole world. be a sniper to know that it's the most fucking obvious thing, an obvious place in the whole world. You could be a 7th grader. Like, what do we need to do for security here? Well, let's look at these rooftops that are almost within zeroing range of a rifle. So it's something happened, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. It's too obvious that this guy had help getting there. So whether it's someone turned a blind eye or it was strategically planned, I mean, it had to be planned to a certain level, because events like that and security like that, it's not a small thing. And that is the most obvious place to be. On top of that, I find it very strange that, you know, if the story that comes out is like, oh yeah, he snuck into position and he got set up and nobody saw him, it was an oversight, security and Overwatch, and we just made a mistake, sorry. I think it's also very weird that if that's the case and someone is good enough to stalk within 150 to 200 yards of one of the hardest to stalk targets in the whole world, you're not going to miss a shot. You're not going to miss that shot. Like, if you have the skill set to get in there, avoiding all of these security.
Now I'm going to bring up a point. Now I want y'all to consider this now, because with the data that is in this video, and you just use cognitive reasoning, the guy, the shooter, I think his name's maybe, I don't want to misspeak his name. Well, I'll call him the shooter. He was up on a roof, and there's videos of many people that were right at the edge of the roof, the building he was on, taking videos of him, telling the police right next to him. Now let me give you an example. If I'm sitting there and I'm looking up right now and I see a guy on a building right here, and I'm like, oh my God, that guy's got a gun. And now I tell a guy that's standing right here that's got one of these, watch this. Hey, officer, that guy right there, he's got a gun. He's got a freaking gun. And the guy holding one of these, all he has to do is go, we have a situation. That's all you got to do. We have a situation. We have a shooter on the roof, building 3. Immediately protect Trump. We have a shooter. So immediately. So right then and there, the whole thing's over. From the moment someone spotted him and talked to somebody that had one of these. Now, once this goes out, it goes to all the other radios that are on the same channel. I don't know who's on what channel or what their protocol was for the police and then Secret Service, and everybody's got whatever channel they're on. But the point is, if the group of guys that are protecting a former president that is a highly sought after target, if they have these, the moment someone saw someone on that roof and told a policeman, it went out over one of these. There's no way around that. Do you know how long the time was from when people were telling the police that had these, there's a guy on the roof? Over 3 minutes. Did you know that there was a sniper on the roof next to Trump, which I find very curious. They had a sniper up on the roof right by Trump, 2 snipers, and as soon as the guy shot at Trump, almost like, well, we're just going to look the other way right now for a little while, but as soon as you shoot, we're going to kill you. We'll look the other way because it's been 3 minutes and we've been all over the radios. But the sniper that killed the perpetrator, I have his comment, and I believe it is now, unless it's proven to be that this is not his comment, but what he said and what matches all the other videos is he had his sights on him for 3 minutes, but he was not given the clearance to take out the perpetrator. That means no one said, who's in charge? How could you let a guy on a roof with a gun around that many? He could have started shooting babies and moms and dads. He killed at least one person I know of. So these things that are on everybody, this is what the real story is. Who had these? And what came over these? And what did they say over these? Okay, now watch this. Ready? There's a guy that did a Twitter thing pretending to be the shooter, and I want to show you what he did because it matches the Justin Timberlake video. Did you hear what I said? The guy that was on X Twitter, I believe, pretending to be the shooter guy, like he did a video before the shooting, he or maybe after the shooting, he was telegraphing the identical thing as the Justin Timberlake "No More Angels" down on the dance floor. I'll show it to you in just a minute. Let's continue here. Here we go.
All different layers of a shot.
Okay, now let me just show you everything real quick. Let me just show you. Okay, so here's where President Trump is right here where I'm making the circle. So it says stage where Trump was speaking is right here. So then you have a set of bleachers at an angle right here, which I find curious. I mean, that left an open line of sight for this building. You would think that maybe you would have that line of sight blocked. But if the sniper's right here and everybody that this is their detail, okay, the guy, the shooter, the assassin is here. And the assassin is going to shoot this direction. That's not a very long shot. That is not a very long shot. Anyone that's a hunter and here in Texas, you know, if you grow up hunting deer, you know that's not a very long shot. And anyway, so he's up here with an easy shot. There's this guy right here. Okay, I'm circling this guy, this federal agent and this federal agent. They both have weapons. And this guy, look, he's got a tripod. See the tripod? So this guy right here, this guy's right here. He's aiming in this white line towards the sniper. And his statement is that he had 3 minutes with his crosshairs on the assassin. Is there any other way to perceive it other than they allowed him to take the shot? He was allowed to take the shot, and I would believe that whoever the party is that hates Donald Trump, if someone was allowing him to take that shot, and then as soon as the assassin takes the shot, he is instantly dispatched by the snipers on the roof. Because after the assassin takes his shots, then the assassin is instantly dispatched. So then there's no witness, which would have been the guy, you know, trying to kill Trump. He can't give any information out because he's dead. But he sure was given a long time, wasn't he? 3 minutes when everybody had one of these. Does that make any sense? Okay.
You're not going to miss that shot. Like, if you have the skill set to get in.
So here's the point about this. Now he says if you have the skill set to get in there. Well, let's say you're a highly trained guy like the guy we're watching. Well, if you had that skill set to get in there and you were a sniper, you're not going to miss that shot. But if you are some guy that thinks you're like, oh, I'm one of the guys that's, you know, what if he thinks he's like doing some wonderful deed for mankind because he thinks he's part of an organization, like the commercial you're about to see. Okay, now we're all allowed to have our opinions, right? Let's see what this guy says.
It doesn't make any sense. So my opinion is, and whether this comes out now or way later, is that this guy had help from somewhere. And I think it's obviously concerning. It's going to be wild. I think it's all you're going to see for the next little while. Anyway, just because I keep getting asked, that's my 2 cents.
Well, I'm glad he
Okay, so that's what he said. And then I don't want to. Oh, wow, this is interesting. There's a split screen. Isn't that fascinating? Why would they have a split screen?
Immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And
look at the time going by.
So apparently there's 1 minute and 43-second mark from the time police actually were looking up at this guy and actually over in the trees moving towards. Let's see.
the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20
Now look right over here, guys. Look over to the left. Now look behind the stage right now. All these people seem to be aware of something going on. See these people?
deal. And that's only going to chart's a couple of months old. And if you
Okay, look at this guy running over here. See this guy? Look. Okay, there's shots. Now here's the guy right here shooting at the assailant. Okay, so I'm sorry, but how does anybody get past the reality that all law enforcement have one of these? Hello, there's a guy on the roof. Please get him right now. 20 people have shown him to me. How do you get around that? I mean, if anyone's going to ask questions, what's all the radio communication between everybody? That's just nonsense. Anyway, this guy said it right. He said, he's like, if you have to ask my opinion, if you had to ask my opinion, it appears as if he was given whatever space he needed to do what he was trying to do. But it looks like obviously the time was given to him by someone who gave him the time. How come right when they saw him, they didn't immediately get, okay, ready, watch. One more time. There's an assailant, looks like there's an assailant, man with a gun on building number 3. Get Trump down right now. Within 10 seconds, Trump would be gone. Not another 3 minutes. No way. No. Not another 3 minutes. That's not possible without orders being given. Someone saying, no, stand down. No. Now here's the comment apparently that the shooter made. The sniper that took him out. Hang on. There was a statement made that at approximately 6:15, the shots were, fired at Trump. That statement was put out. And let me show you what the number 6:15 in the Bible means. So the number 6:15 in the Bible, it means to kill, killing, kill, put to death, to put to death, to kill in any way, whatever, to kill, to extinguish, to abolish, to inflict moral death. So it means to kill, to put to death, to kill. Okay, that's what the number 6:15 means. And that was in an article posted after the shooting. There was a statement made that said at approximately 6:15. What an interesting number to be the time. I wonder what the exact time was, because the approximate time was 6:15, which means to kill and deprive of life, which is what was happening. That's kind of a head shaker, right? Now, let me show you a couple more head shakers. Here's a guy online that did a video, and he claimed his name was Thomas Crooks, which apparently is the guy's name that did this. And there's a tattoo of an apple right here, and I'll just move this down a little more. There's a tattoo of an apple right here. You can see the worm coming out of the apple. See it? But the worm is actually a dragon. See the dragon? And let me show you this guy's shirt right here. You see this guy's shirt? He has the apple with the worm coming out of it. It's a very unusual shirt. To wear a shirt like that, I mean, we all put on our shirts, right? When I put on my shirt, Hide and Seek Champion, just a little while ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to wear that shirt. It's comfortable and it's chill. I'll wear it for the video. Hide and Seek, Ali Ali, income free, because we're all hide and seek champions. If you got saved by Christ, Ali Ali, Lama Sabachthani, Ali Ali, income free. Anyway, I find it fascinating that the guy that I just showed you that has this apple with the worm coming out of it on a blue shirt. The idea of the worm coming out of the apple, that's the dragon coming out of the forbidden fruit. That's why this girl's got it tattooed right above her vagina, because the forbidden fruit, neither shall you lay with a woman lest you die. So the angels that were willing to come in and take on host bodies, that is the forbidden fruit. It's not an apple, but she put it right above her reproductive parts, and there's a worm coming out in the form of a dragon. Now, I'm going to show you the little clip this guy made on X real quick. Okay, I'm pulling up that video real quick, but I want to show you one more thing. Let me show you one more thing very quickly. Look, so if here's the stage right here in this box where former President Trump was right here. And then here are the two snipers. Let me show you these guys right here. Let's see if, okay. Yep. These two guys right here. So these two guys right here, let's see. Okay, these two guys right here, these two snipers, they are in this red box right here. That's where these two snipers are. Former President Trump is right here. The shooter, the assassin, is right here. So as soon as he takes his shot represented by the blue line, he goes boom, boom. Now, don't forget, he was given 3 minutes to shoot, because had they wanted to, one of these could have stopped it within a few seconds. Speed of light. There's a guy on the 10-4. There's a guy on the roof right now. Get former president down right now. Right now, it's already over with. But to say that and then 3 minutes later, that's not believable in under any circumstance. That it was, someone had to have let him alone. He was let alone. No one seemed to even be trying to tell him, sir, you need to come down from the roof right now. I mean, you know, let's say it was a bunch of people drinking and some guys up on the roof. They would have been telling, police officers would have been saying, you need to come down right now. They wouldn't let some guy hang out for 3 minutes crawling on his stomach at a presidential rally. So whatever anyone else is telling you, I just use the mechanics of Spock logic and just ask yourself these questions. Is it possible? So there it is. That's the scenario. These guys immediately take action after this guy, after the assassin shoots, then boom, boom, the assassin and or witness is dead. Okay, now let's watch this. Okay, so I don't know who this guy is right here. He says he's pretending to, I guess he's pretending to be Thomas Matthew Crooks. Isn't it fascinating? Thomas means twins. So watch what this guy says. And he, like I said, I don't believe this is some manifesto he did before. I believe this is some guy just being a troll on the internet. But watch what he does. Watch what he says. So this guy right here, he's the one that's got the apple with the worm on his shirt. Now listen.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Okay, listen. I'm watching his body language. He went like this on purpose to sit back so you could see his shirt. Did you see him do it? He went, my name is Thomas Matthew Crooks, so you could see his shirt. I noticed something else too. I noticed he adjusts his glasses when he says something else that's coming up. Watch. Ready? Let's watch it again.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
Okay, did you see that? He says he hates Republicans, he hates Trump, and then he goes, and you got the wrong guy, and he puts his glasses. Now, if you know what the twin system is, and you've been awakened, you're one of the most blessed people in the world to know up again. Did you see what that guy just did? He's wearing a shirt that's got an apple with the worm in it, which represents those of us that got trapped in the system. We're all attached to our own worm. And it's like what's running this guy knows it. Let me just refresh your memories very quickly. Let's refresh your memory real quick. Remember Justin Timberlake? No, everyone. All right, everyone. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. Remember what's a wrap? Well, female has taken over the male, and there's the angelic being in the trunk with worms in him. Why is this guy right here? Why is this guy wearing his apple with the worm, blue, probably for his party, and this girl's got the apple with the worm coming out, the dragon. Well, what about right here with Justin Timberlake? There's a worm in the representation of the angel in the trunk of the car. The Bible says, if your eye offends you, turn you upside down, pluck it out. It's better to enter heaven with one eye than to be cast into the pit where the worm died not, and the fire is never quenched. Now there's a guy with worms in him. There's his evil doppelganger. Get it? His evil twin. Thomas means twin, by the way. And there's the girl that played the dragon. See, she's still standing with the dragon wings behind her. And it's just too many intersections. And then why does this guy say what he says, and why does he say it like this?
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
See what I mean? It's that arrogance, and it's no different than saying he knows that system like he's just manifesting, no different than the other stuff I show you that's manifesting. For example, remember I told you about Alex, the guy that said, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you, and I told Chris, the bartender, the manager, I said, I'll bet that guy Alex over there draws a picture of me, and when he does, he puts an image of a dead sheep on my face. Who could even think of saying something like, why would I say that? Well, he was winking his eye and sticking out his tongue. That's biblical for the seed of falsehood. Against whom do you sport yourself and stick out your tongue? Isaiah 57 verse 4. Are you not the seed of falsehood, children of the adulterer and the whore? Okay, so then Alex draws a picture of me, and I walked into Starbucks. He's like, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you. I'm like, well, surprise, surprise. I told Chris you would. What'd you draw? And he had a picture of my face. He drew my face, and he put a dead sheep with its tongue sticking out behind my ear. So I called it. Exactly. Who could call that? So I'm calling the same thing on this guy right here. This guy's no different right here. This kid that's making this comment. I mean, he's just doing the same thing as Alex.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
You got the wrong guy. What was it? His good twin? So think about it. You got the wrong guy. He's wearing the worm with the apple representation. You know, the guy that got killed, the assassin. Well, when he died, the angel inside him for sure got taken to the pit. You see what I'm saying? And this is really deep stuff, guys. Anyway, all right, well, there's all that. Now let me show you this. Okay, now read right up here. It says, the rabbit hole goes deeper. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was featured in a 2023 Black Rock ad. The Black Rock ad was filmed at Bethel Park High School, which Crooks attended. Crooks can be seen at the 19-second mark. Okay, now watch this. And then this guy, my thoughts, it stinks of MK Ultra. Okay, now, but watch this. So this is an ad you're going to see for BlackRock. And BlackRock is like, I guess, doing an ad like, hey, we're coming to your high school to hire you. Or we're BlackRock and we do all kinds of stuff. Come join BlackRock. Okay, so the guy that was the assassin, he was in a commercial that BlackRock did at his high school. Have you ever heard something like that? Do you see all the spiritual implications right now? Thomas, twin, some guy on Twitter going, you got the wrong guy. He's wearing an apple with a worm. No way. No way. The shooter on top of building number 3. 3 is Angel of the Abyss. So he was actually on building 3. The guy that took the assassin, he was on building 3. Watch this. Tell me what do you think the odds are. Watch. Ready?
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics.
I don't know if you can see it right here. I teach AP and Honors. Right up here, you know what it says? Unit 3, right here. See right here? Here is Thomas Matthew Crooks right here. See right here? This is the guy, and look, so he's the guy that the camera is centered on.
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So that's him. Here we go.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics.
It says Unit 3 right here. Unit 3. He happened to be on top of Unit 3 when he was shooting at former President Trump. This reminds me of when I was trying to resolve the U.S. currency notes. Like, how is this even possible? There we go.
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me.
Interesting. Vault.
Is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
Okay, now it's like an ad for BlackRock. BlackRock manages retirement plan assets for over a third of U.S. public schools and teachers. Okay.
I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come.
Okay, did you see Unit 3 right there? Let's see. See it? Unit 3 right here. Unit 3 right there.
Place to come to.
Here's the guy that apparently was the assassin. He's right here. Notice how it's framed up right here. You see the number 3, but I showed you the number 93 was already there. Let's go over here and let's look up Strong's 93, okay? So let me look up Strong's 93 real quick. It means injustice, unrighteousness, and hurt. Properly, the opposite of justice, unrighteousness is a violation of God's standards, which brings divine disapproval, and it is a violation of God's justice, contrary to his righteous judgments. It means doing wrong, evildoers, iniquity, injustice, unrighteous, wickedness, and wrong. And I mean, do you think it's possible that the number right here is 93? And do you think it's possible it's being framed up as the number 3 right now, which is the Angel of the Abyss? I mean, do you think that's possible?
And gave as much as he could to help the community.
So let's just play it all the way through one more time. Look for yourself.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school and gave as much as he could to help the community.
Okay, so I find that strange. I find this strange. I find all of this impossibly, it's all spiritual. The point I really want to make about it now is it's all spiritual. Everything about this is spiritual. Y'all see it? Yeah. Remember, we keep seeing it's a wrap, right? Everything is, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The Dos Equis guys, it's a wrap. The dragon is taking over the empire. It's a wrap. The 2012 Olympics, Dow Chemicals, it's a wrap. It shows a bunch of children in hospital beds with nurses and the Grim Reaper walking around going to the tree of life. The Queen just lit up the tree with like a third strand of DNA. Kind of like if you were to get one of these and see if you have that in a shot, that changes your DNA forever. So if you get one of these and the whole human population gets one of these, then the DNA of the human race is forever changed now. That means it's a new species. Do you understand that? If this is what was in it, and they've already admitted that's what was in it, but what about that? What about it meaning what? Because that means that, remember? So everything's becoming something different. Now, again, if Revelation 13 says you got to get a mark in the right hand or the forehead, you know, I'm hoping that it's not what went into everybody's arm. I'm hoping that's not what I hope Revelation 13 is a palisade and a stake, exactly like the vocabulary says. Because a palisade and a stake, a hypodermic needle is exactly the shape of a metal palisade, which is like a fence post. So if you were to take a metal palisade, a needle, and shove it in your arm, that would be just like a palisade going in your arm. That's what a palisade looks like. Let me show you. I'm trying to make a point about the mark of the beast. Watch this. Let's go to Google Images. Palisade metal. Let's see. Okay. Metal palisade tips. Here we go. So a palisade is a fence post, like one of these straight up fence posts. I'll click on the tips. But you see right here, you see this, that's the same as a hypodermic needle tip. But this is just a fence post for fencing you in. But if you have this on a syringe, and that syringe goes into your right arm, and then it puts a bunch of that in you, it puts a bunch of that in you and a bunch of that, well then that could be used for circumvallation in a siege. However, I don't believe that the thing that the serpent sheep slaughter thing, I believe that was the way to get the fencing inside of you, but you still got to electrify the fencing with the RFID. Let me show you that real quick. Also, very quickly, before I switch gears and I start showing you Revelation 13, let me show you Job 25, because the guy was wearing a shirt with an apple. It was all blue, like, you know, like Demon Kratos, and it was all blue, and it had an apple with a worm coming out of it. And I've seen that symbology, and it's used to represent the worm that's in the fruit because the angels took the bait. You know, like 400 hunted for dinner, for those of y'all that have been paying attention. But look right here at Job 24:15. The eye of the adulterer waiteth for twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. So he disguises his face. He puts on basically a disguise. Think of the host body like the serpent is in disguise. Like the movie They Live. In the dark, they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. Think of the house as being your host body. It means to close up, which they had marked. To close up, to seal, to make it in, to mark up, to seal. Which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. For the morning is to them as the shadow of death. Look, the shade of death. And if one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. So, and if one knows them, look, if you know them, and to know means to scrutinize here. It's a very interesting word, nakar. I've never seen this word, and I've seen a lot of words in Hebrew. I've seen a lot of words in Greek. I've never seen this word for the word no. It's usually yada or ginosko or idol. But right here, it's this word nakar right here, and it means to scrutinize. That is to look intently at, to acknowledge, to be acquainted with. So you know what you're looking at. So for those that know them, they are in the terrors, alarm, destruction, terror of the shadow of death. That's pretty scary when you think that this is really what's lurking behind the scenes. Now watch this. The womb shall forget him, and the worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall no more be remembered, and his wickedness shall be broken as a tree. So it's talking about that other race, the serpent race, basically, and what happens to those of us that get caught in it. And it says, the drought and the heat and the snow waters doth the grave those which have sinned. So if you've sinned against the Lord and you haven't turned back to him, then here's what you get. The womb, look at that, the matrix. The womb shall forget him, and the worm shall feed sweetly on him, and he shall no more be remembered in his wickedness. Do you think it's strange that this guy was wearing his worm on his shirt? Do you think it's strange that it just happens to be the guy's name was Thomas and the last name Crooked? I mean, it's almost like it's a script, you guys. My brain is overloaded. Okay, so let me make this argument real quick about a Palisade and a stake. You see the tip of that way to insert that RFID, which looks like a little stake. See it? See that right there? RFID chip. Looks like a little stake, and it goes through there. It goes in there. It shoots out the end, and that, there it is. So that looks very much like a Palisade. See, right here's a Palisade, but a Palisade is simply just right here. See right here? See, that is a Palisade. And the reason I want you to see that language is right now you're about to see it in the Bible. Ready? So let's go to the Bible. So in the Bible, did y'all know that a worm was going to feed off you before? Let me ask you a question. Before you came to this channel, did you know part of your end final destruction if you went to hell was a worm would feed on you? Did you know that? Like in the dimensional trap and state of being that you go to, that you will be fed on by a worm, and that you are actually being fed on by a worm every day of your life? Because see, the host buddy system is an illusion, guys. It is merely a way to hatch an insect race from the pit. That's what it is. That's the big mystery. That's what the Lord had me solve. Why do you think the Vatican has a snake, is a snake, and the mouth of the snake is a big insect harvesting semen? Who's the head of? So an insect is harvesting light, yes? Okay, I've shown you that. Well, angels are light beings, yes? Well, who's the king of the locusts? Satan. So Satan is the king of the locust from the pit, so he's the head locust, and he's eating all the light. It all makes total sense now. Scary, but makes total sense. Like all these Prometheus movies, like Romulus, there's so much truth in them, it's frightening. Okay, here we go. Let's go to Revelation 13. Here you go, Revelation 13. So I've been jumping around a little bit. Here we go. Okay, and the beast. You're going to have to worship the beast, or you'll have to take the mark of the beast. Here it is. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now let's be very clear about what the mark is and where it is. It's in their right hand, so that could be your right arm, possibly, or in their foreheads. The forehead is a part opposite the countenance. Okay, now, but what does the word mark mean? Here's the word mark. So watch this. It's 5480, and I'm going to highlight it. It's called charagma. It says a scratch or etching that is a stamp as a badge of servitude. So you'll get it to show who you serve. So if the mark of the beast, when you get it, it means you will serve the one that's giving it to you. So as a mark of servitude. Well, I know a lot of people were coerced into taking this thing, right? A lot of people, well, you want your job? Okay, well then you better let us give you one of these. You want to, you want to keep coming here. If you want to come here, you want to see your grandma, you got to get one of these. Okay, so there was a lot of coercion, right? A stamp as a badge of servitude, but it says a scratch or etching. And then it says a badge of servitude or sculptured figure. Now, watch the word sculptured figure, like think of a stake. And then it says to sharpen to a point akin to 1125 through the idea of scratching a stake that is by implication a palisade. Wow. So now you have the word mark of the beast is exact vocabulary as a hypodermic needle with an RFID chip in it. It's exactly the same language from Greek thousands of years ago. It's like, not good. See, it says charasso, to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching a stake. Think of an RFID. That is by implication a palisade. And it says, or rampart, military mound for circumvallation in a siege. Now watch this. Okay, so think about this. When you get an RFID chip in your right hand, it'll leave a little bump right there. I'm sure if you got one in your forehead, that would just be a really weird place to put an RFID, wouldn't it? Like, can you imagine an RFID syringe going in your forehead? It would leave a little bump right under your skin for sure. It'll leave a bump right there too for sure. Now let me show you what circumvallation in the siege is. Now think about this. Once you have a bunch of that in you, if you have a bunch of that in you, and then a little bit of lizard juice, raptor, I'll just call it lizard juice. So you got lizard juice and some vibranium. If you put an RFID right there, what do you think that would do? That would be like the modem for your house. Now think of your body as the house now, but now you got the wires running your house because you got your vibranium, just like you said, upon this rock I will build my church. So if you wanted to convert the whole host body system over to one thing, well, you could give everybody vibranium, right? And then change their DNA forever, right? And then they would be a new thing, like a new world order, right? Anyway, I wanted y'all to see the vocabulary because someone has to say it out loud. Okay, a rampart, military mound for circumvallation in a siege. Let me show you what that looks like. Did you know, like when they sieged Jerusalem, they'd build a wall around it so no one could get out? And then, here you go. Like here's, yeah, there you go. Let's see, here we go. Right here. Here's a good way to, here's one with stakes. Look at this. Okay, so they built a wall around it. Think of the wall as vibranium. Okay, now let's go to another one that's got some stakes maybe. Here we go. So you see the mound built around. So if you built that around the city and then you had your guard posts up here, no one can get out without you seeing them. There you go. And then they have stakes pointing that way to make it even a little more tough. So that shows that you've been laid siege to. See? So that is the vocabulary for the mark of the beast. Well, if you had vibranium through your whole body, and you know I'm using vibranium's just a word I'm using for that instead. And if you had vibranium all through you, and then you put that in you, and that can go to a 5G, the second that goes in, it's like hooking you up to AT&T or something. There'd be no going backwards. And then you would no longer have free will. Now, do you want to know what the essence of everything is about? Free will. Free will is here and here. Free will is here and in your heart. If you're afraid, if you live in fear, your free will is going to go away instantly. Trust in the Lord God with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Okay, the end of the world's here. I know you can see it. If you've been converted, I'm talking to you. I know you can see it now. It's easy to see. If you haven't been converted, go look at the channels that the Lord's let me put up. Who could show you that the Vatican's a snake? Who could show you all these images of dead sheep that are hidden in plain sight in statues and artwork everywhere, all over the place? Who in the world could show you all these things? And then I'm going to show y'all a marathon scripture video I'm going to deliver. I've already done the scriptures for you guys. I've already put them out there, part of the public domain. But I'm going to read every one out loud and put it up on your screen. So there's a public record of the scriptures that you may not have even known existed. Just like the one I showed you, and the worm will feed sweetly on you. Let me ask you this. Why does Justin Timberlake have a video called No More Angels Down on the Dance Floor? Because angels come down into a host body system. That's where our light essence comes from. Why does he have his own doppelganger in the trunk of the car with a worm eating him? Unless Jonathan Kleck's right. There'd be no other explanation. Oh, it was just a really cool idea? No. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. This represents you. Sheepdog, there's my buddy. I love you in Christ. Everybody needs a hug every now and then. Yeah, I could use a good hug and get a hug back. That would be awesome. I love you guys in Christ. The world is heading into the darkest time since the beginning of the world. This is the end of the world now, and it's here. It's at the door. Turn back to Christ with your whole heart. He wants you to come home. He doesn't want one to perish. That's God's heart. That's my heart. I don't want anyone to perish, even my enemies. I don't want not even one person, not one soul do I want to perish. None of them. I don't care who's done anything wrong. I love you in Christ. I don't want anyone to go to the pit where the worm dieth not and the fire is never quenched. Okay. All right, guys. I love you in Christ. Peace and grace.